Namaskaram. So, day 17 of the Safe Soil journey. Yesterday, we were looking at how conscious beings can help produce a conscious planet. And one of the first steps which we can take towards becoming a little more conscious is by bringing a yogic practice into our life. Some simple yogic sadhana, any yogic practice which you can take up, so that at least half an hour to 1 hour a day you can spend doing some yoga or meditation. So I hope all of you have at least started with this. If you have not been already practicing yoga, if you could use this opportunity to get started. Today we'll also look at another way in which we can become a little more conscious about what's happening within us. So one of the most effective ways which I have experienced myself is by taking up periods of silence on a regular basis. So what I have been doing is, from the last so many years, is that every 3 to 4 months, I try to see if I can take a week off in complete silence, where there is no communication with the outside world whatsoever, whether it's through phones or any sort of electronic media or newspapers or books or whatever else. So at the Isha Yoga Center, there's a very supportive atmosphere where people who wish to take up something like this, they have an opportunity where you can come there, you can spend some time. They will actually even give you a silence tag, which if you wear this, nobody will talk to you. They will just leave you alone, and you're just supposed to just keep just a few feet distance, just about 3 to 5 feet distance, and just walk without making any eye contact with anyone. No newspapers, no telephones, no mobiles, no computers, no laptops, and no reading, no speaking to anyone. It's just that you just, those few days when you are in silence, you just completely focus on your sadhana, on yourself. So this is something which can be very intimidating for many people in the beginning. They may think that how is it possible that even for a lot of people, even if they have to be away from their phones for even 2-3 hours, it's like a huge thing. And to stay away from all these things for more than 3 to 5 days, it's like for some people this looks like an impossible task. But this is something which we need to learn how we can manage to do this. We can slowly start off this by maybe even at home. For example, let's say you can keep it like this, that from the time let's say after dinner time, let's say you finish your dinner by 7:38, you can even keep it like this, let's say from dinner till next day, until you finish your practices, maybe till you have your breakfast. So about 12 hours time, till about 8 o'clock till 8 o'clock next day morning, you could even try this, where you can be in silence, where you don't access your mobile phones or anything else, if that is a possibility at your home. Generally for most people it's not possible at homes, so that's why you have centers like this, like ashrams, etc., where they have a supportive atmosphere where people can do that. But if it is possible for you, at least that would be a good start, where you can just spend, if not 10-12 hours, maybe a few hours every day, or if not possible every day, maybe once a week, or maybe at least once in 14 days, maybe once in every Ekadashi or Purnami or Amavasya, or whichever day it's possible for you, or every Sunday or every Saturday. You try to see, because you will see that if you give yourself a break from all things which you are doing on the outside, whether it's your job or your family or the external world, if you can just give yourself a break, suddenly you will see that you will become a little more conscious about what's happening within you. This is something which I have experienced, and for me this is like a way to constantly re-establish myself. Whenever I feel that I go into silence, it kind of helps refresh me, and if I've drifted apart, it helps me come back on track. If your practices have slackened, then it'll help you intensify your practices. If your seeking has become a little lukewarm, then at least going into silence may intensify this. So many benefits can be gained. And above all, if you just learn how to sit still, if you just learn how to sit still, then this is one of the biggest things which can happen to you, because this is something which we are striving to do with all the yogic practices and whatever we are doing. We are trying to see if we can just learn how to be still, because if one can learn, if one doesn't know how to be still, then illness is just something which happens because one is not able to sit still. So it's, you'll see that constantly we are all the time moving, and it's very difficult for us to just sit still. So with all the asanas and kriyas, etc., we're trying to see that how we can cultivate our energies in such a way that if we want to sit still and meditate, it is a possibility. Whether it's the body or mind, we can just sit still. So being in silence is a great way where one can become a little more conscious about themselves, how their thought process is happening, what's happening in their life. Are they really going in circles? Are we really going in circles, or are we really progressing? If you just give yourself a break from all the outside communication, it doesn't matter whatever work you're doing or whatever else you're doing. If you just give yourself a break regularly, you'll suddenly you'll become aware of so many things which you were not aware of. Your own thought process, your what are your limitations, how you can overcome them, all these things if you just give yourself a break. So please see if you can strive to do that. If you wish to go and take up silence in the Isha Center or any other supportive place where they have such a possibility, you can contact them. You can get in touch with them and see. During the pandemic time, they had closed such an opportunity. I think they might have restarted it. So you can even check with them and see if it is a possibility to go to the Isha Center for a few days. And if that's not possible, at least at home, maybe try to see if you can start with a few hours, or at least whatever is possible for your schedule. If you can start that, it'll be a great help for you. There is a program which happens in the Isha Yoga Center, which is done only by Sadhguru. It is called as Samyama. It is a program where people are in silence for 7 to 8 days completely, and it is conducted by Sadhguru. So this is a very advanced program, and it's from the last 2.5 years it's not happened. Hopefully it'll happen next year. And for this particular program, just for you to attend this program, so much preparation needs to happen. You need to go through almost all the other Isha programs, because it requires so much commitment for a person just to see that those 7-8 days they can just focus on their sadhana and cut off from everything else outside. It doesn't matter whatever it is. So there are people who even go on extended periods of silence. You may have come across things like vipassana or something, where people go on extended periods of silence for even 2 weeks. So there are many such things like where people go on extended periods of silence and they find huge benefits associated with it. But you need not look at that number right now. It may appear very daunting. Start with whatever is possible for you. Maybe even for a few hours every day. At least you can keep it like this, that in the morning until I finish my sadhana, it'll be like I'll be in silence. And you can see that may even assist you to finish your sadhana very easily, because generally if we just get up and we get lost in our mobiles, then we'll see that the time for sadhana may just disappear. But if you just keep it like this, that from the time I get up until I finish my sadhana, I'll be in silence, no electronic devices, nothing. I'll just focus on my sadhana, and once I finish, only then I get into this itself can help you tremendously to see if you can get enough time for your sadhana. So please experiment with this, and please share with us if this helped you, and if you can take a pledge for the remaining 83 days to do this and experiment with this and see. Namaskaram. Let's save soil together.